Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a tutorial on piloting a Strek. This is a very fun thing to do, very difficult for sure because the game controls are not very good. However, if you take some time to research it, you can actually learn how to fly using your mouse or even WSAD keys with a little bit of changing up of the hot keys. Now we're about to take off and go kill some dragons. I had a little bit more rock and roll music this time, a little bit of heavy metal, because I mean you can't really kill dragons to Celtic music, let's face it. Alright, we're going to get right at it. This is a custom designed LuckCatchers Strek that I put together in our castle. This has 5 machine guns, so quad guns on the front. They are 1-50s. And a single rear machine gun. You can kind of see the little orc back there on the rear gun who is currently firing at anyone who gets behind us. So another cool thing about the LuckCatcher is because it has a rear gun, actually, because you might recall that I mentioned earlier that Streks don't auto-fire at enemies unless you tell them the exact enemy to fire at, but the one thing cool about the LuckCatcher and other Streks that have rear-facing guns is they do indeed fire at enemies regardless of if you tell them to or not, assuming that the enemy is behind them. So if you're using a mammoth, for instance, and you want to go and fight dragons, and you want to have your Streks also protect you, add a little bit more fire to your arsenal, then you definitely want to bring LuckCatchers and you want to put machine guns on them. Another kind of trick, if you don't want to tell your Streks to fight, is put a very powerful rear machine gun on and don't even equip forward machine guns. If that's only if you don't plan to fly it yourself and you plan to just have max amount of Streks protecting you. So you could put like for example, a 1-10 1200 on the back of your LuckCatcher and don't even put guns on the front. That way you can actually increase the speed of it because you've got a lot more weight. Remember that weapons take up a ton of weight. They're going to be mainly what you're fighting against when you design a Strek. Now as you can see, when you get hit by a dragon, things get kind of crazy. The moment you get hit by a dragon, your Strek will kind of lose a little bit of control. You get some control, but it pushes you down. Now if you see on the bottom left, that is my health bar. And on the bottom right, that is my fuel gauge. Now on the far bottom left, that is going to be our power indicator. That indicates that I'm operating at full power at the moment. However, as I start to take more damage, that power will begin to reduce because my engine is being hit. So you can't fly your Strek at full power the entire time you fight, assuming you're getting hit. And of course, the gauge to the second from the left is of course our airspeed. You do not want to fall into the red because you will start to stall out. And then on the far right, that is going to be our altitude indicator. Second from the far right is, I forget what it's called, but it indicates how quickly we're ascending or descending down. Excuse me, it's the opposite way. The far right is our ascension or descension speed, and the second from right is our actual altitude. Pardon me. Now there's 3 controls on the Strek, and you can see as I'm fighting, it's starting to get ugly. I'm starting to take decent damage. You'll notice that the power of our Strek is down to 90%. May not sound like a big reduction, but 10% reduction when you've designed your Strek to barely be able to fly because you've tossed a ton of weapons on it, that is a big, big deal. So I'm already struggling here at 90%. And I'm narrating this after the fact because I just couldn't narrate and fight at the same time. And I can already tell you what's going to happen to my Strek. You'll see in a little while here. Anyway, as I'm taking damage, things are getting ugly. At this point, I was starting to think to myself, you know, I think I need to get back to the ship because I am not doing so hot. Oh, another good tip to know is your Q and your E keys will control your rudder. See, right now in this fight, I did know how to use Q and E. I wasn't using them very much. This was recorded when I was still learning how to fly Streks. but Q and E will help you a lot in your maneuverability. Many of you, maybe older gamers from the 80s, maybe early 90s, will remember games like Flight Simulator 95, or, yeah, see, now I'm trying to return to the Mammoth. I'm thinking to myself, uh-oh, I better get back. This thing's in trouble. I'm not gonna make it. But you guys might remember Flight Simulator 95 or other Flight Simulator games back in the day where you had to use arrow keys, or Simcopter. If any of you remember Simcopter, that was a classic. But yeah, the controls are not too good. And look at this, I am about to go down. Anyway, this has been a short tutorial on how to fly Streks. Very easy to do. Oh, one more thing. To increase and decrease your throttle is A and Z. Although I'm hitting A like a madman at this point, it doesn't matter. My Strek has taken too much damage, and it is about to go pop. Yeah, that's it. Alright, here we go. We're on fire. Remember me. And down I go, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it was a good attempt. Flying Streks is still fun. I will have another tutorial soon on Strek bombing, Strek torpedo runs, and PvPing in just a Strek if you want to be a pirate. Because unfortunately I am a pirate at the moment due to being a governor, which you might have remembered from another tutorial. Anyway, I will be back, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you very much.